Love it. Welcome to the Chelsea Football FanCast. I'm Stanford Chidge, and this is the daddy of all Chelsea podcasts, fueled by Guinness, powered by celery. And the name of this show is Mutch, Eto'o About Nothing.
Very good.
Thank you, Ross. I've been waiting for that. I just couldn't believe the opportunity arose this week to do that one. But there you go. Right, joining me on the show tonight is the man with the Union flag mug. He is a Union flag mug, in fact. It is Darren Mantle.
Hello, how are you?
I'm very, very well. We have the man with the very fluffy white pussy. I don't know if you quite see that. Pussycat mug for Ross. Hello, Ross. How are you?
Meow.
Meow, yeah. That's pretty sharp. And a man with the Spirit of Cricket mug, which is... Pablo. Hello, Pablo.
Hello, you're right.
I'm very well. I think you can say an awful lot about the choice of people's mugs. I've gone for a kind of a slightly blue, a bit like the 80s, the mid-80s kit.
It's a bit Art Deco. It's a bit of a muggy mug.
Yep. Sadly, there's nothing stronger in there than Lemsip, but never mind. Anyway, are we all well tonight? Darren's already asleep by the looks of it.
Yeah, I'm good, so I'm well.
What are you doing?
Work.
Put it away.
You know that it's a struggle for me to get here today.
Yes,
so
I do. I know. Put it
yes.
away, Darren.
It's the
now,
police.
other than us ugly mugs, in fact, you could say, we do have some people on the benches, do we not? Chadmeister.
Hello, George, thank you.
I'm all right, mate. How are you?
Very good. Had a very good weekend, actually.
Good. I saw you in the pub, didn't I, on Saturday?
Before the game, yeah.
Yeah, it was nice to see. And of course, we've got the loyalists back this week.
Yeah, I've got Gary here with us today, Gavin, and then I've got Harry. One Harry Baker.
Harry Baker. It's good to see you boys here this week. No girls on the benches this week.
No, not this week. No.
Are you upset by that?
A little.
Okay.
Modest, yes.
I'm sure
Too much hesitation.
We'll nip down the road and find you some later, if you know what I mean. Now, if anybody wants to find you, or come and sit on the benches with you, in a completely legal sense, how would they do that, Chadmeister?
Oh, there's a number of ways, Chidge. You can send us an email to, as it's on your screen there,
chelseafancast@gmail.com, Chadder.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Also, they can tweet us at Chelsea Fancast using the hashtag Chelsea Fancast, which you may see on your screen later, and also in the live Mixlr chat room, which is at mixlr.com/Chelsea-Fancast.
You did that so brilliantly well, and you remembered it totally. But the main thing is that you are in control of Twitter and Mixlr, and you will be talking to the peeps in there, won't you?
That's right, yeah. So get your tweets in, get your Mixlr chat room.
Get your tweets in for the boys.
That's right, and we'll read some of them out later on.
Lovely, I'm looking forward to that. And of course, we will be talking about the Cardiff game, the win against Cardiff, which I thoroughly enjoyed on Saturday. We'll be having the fannies, the man of the match, chant of the match, Guinness and celery moments, all about that. And later on in the show, we're going to be having a chat with John Darch. Who he, I hear you say? Well, John Darch is the man behind the Safe Standing campaign, which is a very, very, very worthwhile cause. And he got a bit of news this week for various reasons. Anyway, John is going to be on the phone with us later on the show, and I, for one, am looking forward to that. And of course, we are kind of reintroducing something that we used to do a long time ago tonight. I'm bringing back You're on CFFC. Do you remember that?
I do, yeah. Do we all get to read them out?
Well, it's going to be a bit more kind of multimedia than that, but it's basically the same as if you don't ask, you don't get, but I'm calling it You're on CFFC. So that means if you want to Skype us, you can Skype us chelsea.fancast, or of course you can tweet us at Chelsea Fancast, and of course you can chat to Chadder in Mixlr, mixlr.com/Chelsea-Fancast, and do all of that. Now, apart from all of that, we've got Chelsea Chadder stats and all the latest Chelsea supporter news. I am as excited as an excited thing. But before all of that, it is time for this. Da, 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 da. Lovely. I thoroughly enjoyed Saturday, largely because I spent a lot of time in the pub before. I suspect it had a lot to do with that. But, yeah, looking forward to this. Proper football back after all that international nonsense. And we had Cardiff. And our team on Saturday was something like this. We had Petr Cech in goal, making his 300th appearance even. We had Branner, Louise Terry, and of course we had Ryan Bertrand, or Ryan Bertrand if you prefer, at left back because Ashley Cole's still suffering from a rib injury. We had Ramirez and Lampard in central defensive midfield. And we had Willian making, I think it was his first Premier League start. We had Mata as the number 10, and we had Hazard. And we had Eto'o starting. Pretty decent team, I think. Again, you can see the consistency building with that, can't you, Darren?
Yeah, you can. There's a lot of what Mourinho has sort of picked his first, like you say, especially at the back, apart from obviously Ashley Cole was out, so Bertrand played, but otherwise, so yes, and maybe Eto'o might actually get a few more matches now.
I expect Louise will be suffering the fate of other people who've made single mistakes, and I suspect he won't be playing in the next game.
We'll talk about that later, because that is a bit of an issue, I think, with old Louise. But I wonder, because I actually think that Mourinho's decided, that's, I think he's kind of working out what his best side is, and he'll stick to that, which I'm a fan of, because I can't stand that Horlicks of, rotating for fun like Rafa did last year. So I don't have a problem with that. I think it's time we should have a look at the old match stats, really, just so we know what we're talking about before we get into the meat and two veg of the show. But amazingly, Chelsea scored 4 goals and Cardiff only scored 1. But, I mean, let's face it, I think it's fair to say we kind of gave them a bit of a battering there if you look at the shots on target and total shots. And we monstered the possession as you kind of would expect us to do. Anything untoward in that, Ross?
No, not really. I think it was the stats in this circumstance were a good reflection of the game. We created quite a few chances and stuck a few in the back of the net.
Can you guess what I'd like to talk about first?
Is it David Luiz's mistake?
No.
Is it all 3 offsides with Eto'o?
No.
Is it the silly goal?
Yes. Well, kind of, in a way. I mean, basically, I listened to a bit of the media, a bit of Match of the Day and all that stuff afterwards, and apparently, according to people who are much more intelligent than us, that's right, we would have lost that match had it not been for our mate Eto'o cheekily nicking the ball out of that dozy pillock, which is the Cardiff goalkeeper's hands. Apparently, Cardiff would have won that match. I mean, what absolute errant nonsense! What are these people smoking? It's quite insane.
Well, I mean, I think the thing that made what would have been a fairly routine victory actually impressive is the fact that they took an early lead and then proceeded to stick all 11 men within about 15 yards of their penalty area for the entire of the first half, and in fact up until the point that we eventually did get the second goal. So I mean, it took a lot more to really break them down than you would have expected it to.
You know what, mate? I thought they parked the bus even before they scored that goal.
Yeah, they did.
They were wasting time before that, that's for sure. But, I mean, when they did score that goal, you could just see their faces light up with glee. Oh, let's try and protect a 1-0 lead.
Oh, yeah, but, I mean, I don't think you can criticise them for that, really.
No, not really. Why? I mean, of course you can't. They're a rubbish team. They're going to get relegated, hopefully, and you don't expect them to do anything less. But it's very, very, very irritating, and I'm going to moan about the referee later, so let's hold that thought. Now, I know you texted me earlier. You see, you feel very strongly about, whether that was a goal or not, and whether the ref made the right decision or not. I'm just going to, before you get into that, Ross, I'm going to remind people out there who think that this might be quite a new and novel thing, but this has happened 3 times as far as I can remember, where a striker has nicked the ball away from the goalkeeper and then gone on to score. Georgie Best did it against Gordon Banks for Northern Ireland against England, and the goal was disallowed. Gary Crosby did it against Andy Dibble, and it was allowed. And Thierry Henry did it against Friedel, and it was disallowed. So it's interesting that sometimes now it's evened up. We've had 2 disallowed, 2 allowed, and it all stems on whether the ball is actually in the goalkeeper's control. Take it away, Ross.
Yeah, I think most of the time it just comes down to whether the referee sees it or not, because quite often they're already running back up the pitch. But in general, even when the keeper's bouncing the ball, he's got it under control. But I think the more pertinent question is, why should the goalkeeper be allowed to bounce the ball? It's not like it serves any purpose.
Well, he was wasting time, wasn't he?
Well, he's just preparing to kick it up the field, but it's not like he's gaining anything out of it. And I, to be honest, I think the rule should be changed just to say, well, bouncing the ball, you're making the ball vulnerable to being taken off you.
I would like to think that football players had their ball under control at all time, Ross. I think that would be the safest policy, don't you?
I can see where you're going with that.
I can see where I'm going.
But I mean, that said, the fact that one of the 3 examples you use goes back to George Best and Gordon Banks suggests that this isn't something that happens often, and therefore isn't something that
there is a more recent example though. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did it in 2006-2007 season, and that was disallowed as well.
Did he?
Yeah, I can't remember who against, but I remember it was.
You are Rain Man, aren't you? You are. You know what, Darren? You frighten me.
I think I agree with Ross though. The bouncing ball, like why it doesn't. they don't need to test if the ball's going to actually bounce and come back up again. They should know a size 5 ball is going to come back.
Very, very quickly before we throw up to the break, hands around the table, who thinks it should have been allowed as a goal? You think it should be a goal?
Definitely.
I'm still trying to work
Yes
out what
or no?
happened, to be
Yes or
honest.
no? Yes or no?
It was, so yeah,
Ross?
fine.
Yes. Pablo's a yes?
By the rules of the game, no, but I think the rule in this case is an ass.
Okay. So, benches, what do you reckon? I want to know. Get a feel for what they're saying out there, Chado. Well, should it have been a goal or not?
My opinion, yeah, I do. But I think Ed Weatherall really sums it up well here. He says, if it's in mid-air, the keeper's bounced it or dropped it. If it's in mid-air, how can he be in control of it? That's
Yeah,
a good point.
I agree with that.
And Zuriel NG has said that, well, the ref didn't see it, so how can he disallow it?
I'll tell you what I would say to put a line under all of this is that the incident should never have actually happened, because actually Marshall should have been sent off before that for clearly handling outside the area. Proven, photographically, and on Match of the Day. What a muppet that referee is to have missed that, and let alone the linesman.
Well, this is the thing. The referee said that he didn't see the Eto'o thing with the goalie. I think he said he went by the linesman.
Yeah,
The
who
linesman
missed
was
that?
never up with play.
Yeah.
I mean, I was sitting with Mr. Bailey over there, and we were saying that you could see that when Marshall handled the ball, the linesman took ages. He wasn't even in position. He ran back to recover. By the time he got there, he wasn't going to flag it because he'd missed what even happened. He was always behind.
Good point, and we're going to pick this up after the break because it's just too good to let lie there. We'll see you in a second.